Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are testing another rock hammer today. So if you didn't already see in a previous video, we tested the cheapest rock hammer available, coming in at 10 bucks. I gave this thing a multi-month run, and it's terrible. It's exactly what you should expect for a $10 rock hammer. The plastic handle chipped up, got sharp. This head got chips in it and kind of became serrated, if you will, and is overall a unenjoyable rock hammer to own, use. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Well, maybe one out there would, but if you're anybody like me and you use these tools, you go rock hounding, you're probably not going to want this. The standards that we've came to know and love would be Estwing rock hammers. This is the very standard Estwing rock pick that you probably already own yourself. And then there is the slight upgrade with the slightly bigger hammer face, okay? These things, however, are going up in price. Right now, I just checked the price before coming out here, and 2025, we are $40 for this guy here, the standard one, and the slight upgrade one, 50 bucks. I have heard from 3 reliable sources this year alone that they have broken Estwing rock hammers. And these aren't people that are the type that would abuse tools, things like that. These are people that I personally know. So we have Estwing hammers going up in price and seemingly going down in quality. I have not personally broken one, but these are just things that I've started to hear. So what are some alternatives? Because there are definitely alternatives. And in this box here, I have the most expensive rock hammer I could find. Well, that is comparable to the Estwings, and we'll get into that here shortly. This is from a company called Trow and Holden, based out of Vermont. They've been making custom, I guess not custom, they've been doing masonry stone cutting tools since the 1800s. Custom forged, and well, they make a GeoPick rock hammer thing, and oh wow, oh, it's stapled. Quite the packaging, guys. I paid for this with my own money, and it came in at $76. $76. It's a very nice catalog here. I'm sure that's cool. We got our hammer. Look at that. All right, well, not bad at all. Is there anything else in here? A lot of packaging material. I will reuse that. All right, I mean, first impression is that it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Obviously, wooden handle, and it does look like that handle has a little bit of a poly coat on it. I love a wood-handled tool. I love it. You can replace them. If this thing here breaks in any way, this comes off, it's done. It's done. Wood-handled tools, on the other hand, you can replace these. Maybe not this thing, but we can replace these, and I am a fan of the wood-handled tool. It is not for everybody. If you have no capacity to swing a hammer and hit a nail, maybe it's not the thing for you. But this is interesting. We do have a poly coat on this, which needs to come off. You see that little bit of a shine on here. I'm going to sand this, like I do with all my wood-handled tools. Sand that poly coat off. What will happen is that plastic will break down. It's going to embed in the palm of your hand. It's going to get itchy. It's going to get terrible. You're going to hate it. So we're going to sand that off. We're going to put some boiled linseed oil on it, and it should look pretty good. Let me go do that. It has been nearly a month since that last video clip, and well, I've learned some things. So before we talk about the hammer that I bought, let's talk about this, the Estwing rock hammer. How do you use your Estwing, or how do you imagine a rock hammer being used? Now, some people think you can hit rocks with this. Okay. Some people think this is like a chisel pick end. Okay. You're 100% wrong. Well, you're sort of wrong. You're sort of wrong. I have hit a lot of rocks with this, even though you probably shouldn't. And from the video that I did on the cheapest rock hammer, a lot of people have been like, I've had my rock hammer for 20 years, 30 years, and they're definitely hitting rocks with it. Well, all my Estwings are moderately old, as far as a hand tool goes. Did you know that Estwings now say that you cannot hit a rock with this, and this end is only meant for digging, and this end is meant for hitting wooden spikes. You can see it right here. This is a tag on an Estwing rock hammer. Now, I don't believe my hammers that I bought years and years ago came with a tag saying you can't strike anything hard or it will break. Maybe they did, and I just don't remember, but let me know. Do you have an old rock hammer? Do you remember it coming with a thing saying that you can't hit a rock with it? I don't. So it leads me to believe that Estwings of yesteryear are not the Estwings of today, which is a shame. So that brings me to this thing, okay? I don't know if I like this, okay? The handle is awkward. I have not used this a whole bunch, but I want you to listen to something. Hopefully you can hear that. The head is already loose on this, and it's been about a month, which is a major disappointment. Now, I know a lot about wood handles. I have restored many axes and hammers and different things. I've never had a head come loose, because if you have a properly dried wood handle and you properly seat this thing and you do everything properly, there's people have videos on this, it'll never come loose. So the fact that it feels a little poorly thought out, we already have a loose handle, I can correct that. I sent the company email, kind of a somewhat of a scathing email. And I ended up actually having a pretty good conversation with the president of Tro and Holden, Gina, and she seems pretty nice. And I'll talk about this thing here, but real quick, the Estwing, you can't hit anything with it apparently. Tro and Holden says on their literature that comes with the hammer, with a hardened steel point perfectly suited for breaking apart rock, and a hammer face that can be used to strike hand tools or be struck with another hammer. The GeoPick is a workhorse when it comes to both fossil hunting and general rock hunting work, especially use. Okay, so they're saying that I can take this here and hammer another hammer onto it, and I can break rock with this, which that runs in stark contrast to this, which says you can't do anything anymore. One of the things that you can do with a hammer, a wood-handled hammer, is seat the head by this. No more wiggly wiggly for now. It will get wiggly again. That's on there. Okay, so I'm talking to Tro and Holden, and I'm like, what the heck, guys? Like, you guys aren't doing a very premium job for the premium price. And she was like, hey, I'm really sorry. And we started talking about hammers and what makes a good rock hammer and all the different things. And, well, they sent a couple hammers my way to try. Here is a little version of it, which we can try. I've put this in a number of people's hands, and they were all like, it's backwards. It's too hammer heavy. I agree. And then the one that I'm kind of actually excited about is this. This is a, well, it's kind of like the Estwing like 3-pound hand sledge or a single jack, except we have a big strike face on one side, and then this is actually carbide, right? So this is rated to just like swing directly into a rock, and as long as we maintain it, we should be good. So that's where I'm at with this. I got a couple of hammers for free to try out. Maybe you heard the dog back there. So I think for the time being, I'm hanging up my Estwings, and I'm going to be trying these guys out for a while. If you have an old Estwing, save it, cherish it. If you have a new one, I'm sorry, it might break. All right. That's where I'm at with these hammers. Just the idea of being able to put this in a crack and go like that, and they're like, yeah, that's the legit use of it, is very interesting to me. So, off to play with hammers, I guess. That feels so weird to hammer on hammer. It doesn't like seem like the thing that you should ever do, but one of my concerns with these is the lack of curvy pry end. But I mean, dang. I mean, and this volcanic rock is definitely a hard rock. This is the carbide tipped one, and typically I would never ever swing a pointy hammer into, what is this, like dacite or something? That just seems like a recipe for destroying a hammer, but I mean, it's carbide, so it's carbide. Oh my gosh. I that would absolutely wreck another hammer. And it's just like eating it up. Like look at there's like zero wear. I mean, well, it's like a little scratched, but like I can just rub that off. That's just like rock stuck to the carbide tip. Huh. And I guess, I mean, I could use this heavier hammer to hammer on one of the other hammers. Don't know if I like this, like, painted on yellow grippy paint stuff, but that's sanded. I mean, you could sand that off. This video is not going as intended. I tested the cheapest rock hammer. I then got a much more expensive rock hammer, which I was lukewarm on, and then became disappointed in, and then emailed the company, and they apologized and sent me additional rock hammers, more on those later. But I was definitely getting special treatment because, I sent them an email with my currently Rockhounding email address. We'll get into that. I learned a lot about Estwings. I reached out to Estwing for some official comments on how this rock hammer should be used. And well, first off, I call this a rock hammer. You call this a rock hammer. Estwing does not refer to this as a hammer anywhere. They refer to this as a pick, okay? So, I was like, hey, Estwing, I have some questions, about the labels on here, saying this tool may chip when struck against rocks or hardened objects, possible eye injury, bodily injury, whatever, striking wooden stakes only. The label that's on these things that I never seemed to notice, or they weren't on there back in the day. And they were like, I mentioned that they have a video on their website, this video right here, showing the usage of this, which is breaking rocks. How is it you have a video showing breaking rocks with this thing, but then the warning on the tool says that you can't break rocks? They said, good morning, they apologized for the delay. I do see that the video is kind of misleading. The square face, I'm reading the emails, the square face for driving chisels, the pointed tip is perfect for precise rock splitting, fossil extraction, detailed geologic work. And then I said, are you sure? Because this is being sold currently on a hammer, the label at my local hardware store, like this is right now. And then they were like, oh, I thought you were talking about the much bigger one. And And then, but they say the same thing. And then they said, I am assuming we have to have the warning label for safety and liability issues. Okay, so is this just like legalese, lawyers getting involved? So I was like, well, the photo I sent is the current one. And then I said, could you check for me, please? Selling a rock hammer and showing it in a video where the hammer end's breaking rocks and then putting a label on it saying that the hammer could break if you hit a rock, and this end is for wooden stakes and the pointy ends for prying is just it's all very different. So how is this supposed to be used? Just check for me. And they said, apologies for the confusion. We are in the process of removing that video from the website as it demonstrates the improper way to use the tool. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. The rock pick, this thing, what we're calling a rock hammer, the rock pick is not to be used to break rocks. So there we go. Estwing is now saying that you cannot break rocks with this. It is accurate that this is for picking and this is for wooden stakes. And if you hit a rock with one of these, it will chip, and that's that. So what you're looking at here is all the Estwing products that I own. These are the last of them. Estwing is now dead to me. I'm not going to be buying another Estwing product. What I have is what I have. I guess if I found like an old-timey vintage one, I'd probably buy that. But these don't seem to chip at all when hitting rocks. So there is that. And then you get into the other part of like old stock, right? Is that a problem only with the new stuff, but the old stuff is good? If you go to a hardware store, if you go to a rock shop out in the middle of nowhere and they got some old dusty rock hammers hanging up on the shelf for sale where they made at a time where you could hit rocks, but they're still currently available, I'm not exactly sure what to think. I'm probably going to avoid them from now on. So there's that. These things, so here's the original one that had the loose head and I hydraulically forced it back on, and we're still currently good with that. This one, which seems really awesome, got so loose that the handle came off, and it is a very poor job. Like I can just, here's the wooden wedge, right? Like I can just I pulled this thing apart with like my hands, right? So I bought a new handle. I properly fitted the head. I hydraulically drove the handle on. I put a true hardwood wedge in here with a hydraulic press and a French wedge. And, I did so with a dried handle. Currently out here in the shop, we are at 16% humidity. I dried this handle down to 4.5% humidity. So this is on here. This is done the proper way. Here's the ones they sent. Can you hear that? So we're 3 for 3 for loose handles. I'm spending more time fixing the tools. And mind you, so I bought this with my money, and then I was like, dude, what the heck, guys? Like, what a disappointment to already have it come with a loose handle. We have the brain power and technology available to put wood handles on hammerheads. We can do it. I did it. This thing will never come off. Hickory handle, dried, properly fitted. Walnut wedge, French wedge, wood glue in here, hydraulically pressed together. This is staying on here. This is not coming off. They put these on the old way, where it's just like a guy like tapping these things on with like a hammer. And I just want to show you the difference between what I just did and what they do. Can you see the difference here? Okay. These have teeny tiny wedges, and these have safety wedges. This has a giant wedge, and it is just like mashed into that eye. Like it's not coming off. This is the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. So where does this leave us? This leaves us with me no longer recommending Estwing products, provided they are new. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it. If I did, these things, right? Like for me, these are prescription safety glasses. The idea of like using this and hitting a rock and metal leaving this hammerhead at like Mach speed is not a good thing. I mean, Tro and Holden, I'm a believer in the hammerhead, right? And here's the thing, they know that their handles are a problem. They've like admitted it in emails. They're like, yeah, we know that it's an issue. If you are a prosumer, yeah, like you can, I think that this is awesome. I'm going to keep testing these, but I'm going to post this video now, but I'm going to keep testing these, but the handles are dog water. They're terrible. Like you don't want that. So if you're prepared to buy, maybe they'll sell you the head without the handle. If you're knowledgeable enough to find a good YouTube video, put a wood handle on one of their tools. Hey, I think it's going to be great, but like this sucks, right? That sucks. I expect more out of a premium tool designed for professionals, which that's what these are for. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go with my rock hammer testing. I guess I don't have time to become a blacksmith, but if you're a blacksmith, go ahead and shoot this guy an email, currently rockhounding@gmail.com, and maybe we can make a real rock hammer, a pointy rock hammer. Oh, that brings up the other thing. This thing, like, I thought that I was going to really miss the curvy bit. I don't really miss it as much as I thought I did. Most of what I do with any of these things is I scrape around rocks, right? And then you kind of get in there and loosen, and then I pull it out. I'm not really like getting in here and then like using a giant lever action. So I feel like the straight taper is less bad than what I initially kind of thought. But yeah, the handles, you know, like, got to buy a handle from Blacksmith Depot, buy hardwood wedges from another place, buy French wedges from another place. Not for everybody. So yeah, I would give them a fail for the general user, but maybe for me it'll work out well. Let me know your thoughts down below. This video kind of ran a gambit. Didn't exactly turn out as expected. I learned a lot. And hopefully you learned a lot too. Go check out the website. Join Patreon if you can. I appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next video.